This is TWiT.
People have started to look at the source code of iOS 16, codenamed Sydney, and apparently it's just loaded with references to mixed reality. And there have been a lot of rumors that Apple, of course, is going to do a mixed reality headset, something like the HoloLens Microsoft already does.
There's no question they're going to do that. The question is when will they announce it? They always frustrate us with how long they take, but they won't do it until it's really, really ready. I think in general, I don't know when they're going to announce this thing, but I do believe that they will announce it before they ship it, like the iPhone.
Well,
the iPhone,
and in fact, you got to get developers developing for it. So the time to announce it, frankly, is this June.
There are already references to a simulator, so I think there's a 2-digit percentage chance that they're actually going to announce this thing, open it up to developers. I think it's a real possibility, and people can start building it on the simulator. So
somewhere between 10 and 99% chance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, probably 10. Probably 10. Let's go with the 10.
2 digits is kind of a wide.
I've been burned so many times, Leo.
Mark Gurman points out that because it's in iOS 16, lots of references that it will probably launch during the life cycle of iOS 16. Doesn't mean it'll come out in the fall when iOS 16 does, but it will sometime between fall 2022 and fall 2023. That seems reasonable.
Right.
Absolutely. And weren't the rumors that this first version, so there's like supposed to be 3 stages, I believe, where this first version is going to be like a $3,000 headset, kind of
developer model,
more living room based. Yeah, and it'll probably come out for developers first, and then I don't know if it'll come out, regular for consumers. The next stage is the one that people really want, but that's not until 2024 or 25, which is this idea of like Apple glasses. The idea you just put on glasses and you uses your iPhone and your Apple Watch as the actual computer connection to it, and you just walk around the world, right? And you see augmented reality. It gives you information, notifications, and all this kind of stuff. I think that's really the dream here. I'm really curious about what Apple's going to bring to the table in terms of augmented reality and virtual reality in the living room that hasn't already been done. That's so unique, because I feel what their second generation, this idea of like glasses, is what people really want, but we're still seem pretty far off from it. Although North Focals was doing some cool stuff in this area before.
I thought
Google
those were great. Yeah, but then they're gone.
Yeah. But
Google owns them now.
But I can answer that question. So first of all, you talk about the regular glasses that are actual augmented reality, where you're seeing through glass. You see the real world through glass rather than the first version, which will essentially be VR that they use for AR, where you're looking at a video of the real world. That's the first version. But there's no way the glass version are going to be out in 2024. That is the plan. You're correct that's what the intention is. That's what the rumors are. But I don't believe there's any way in hell they're going to be out with that version
technology
in 2 years. There's no way. But here's their what I believe their killer app is. They call it Bionic Virtual Meeting Room. Basically, it's a way to have social interaction, and it's a way to do business meetings through AR. So basically, holographic Memoji, where you can do the eye contact. You hear the rich audio. So if Leo is a hologram sitting there, I would turn and hear his voice coming from this direction. I could make eye contact with his hologram. I think that's really the killer app that they've been working on. They did an acquisition. I don't recall the name of the company, and 2-3 years ago, and they have dozens of patents around this Bionic Virtual Meeting Room idea. So that's their idea for a killer app for their AR in the short term. And I think it's actually. I think they're onto something. I
this
think that's
might solve the hybrid workforce
and
issue.
Zoom fatigue. That whole thing. The Brady Bunch wall o people.
But come on, wearing that headset for hours at a time.
No, but this is the difference between the Zuckerverse, as I call it, and Apple's version. The Zuckerverse idea is, we're going to just get up in the morning and put on headset and live in the metaverse all day. There's no way that's going to happen. Apple says, no, we're going to be living in the real world, but every once in a while we'll put on the goggles for a 45-minute meeting.
Right.
That is the right version of what is going to happen. And
it will certainly be more like being in person.
Yes, exactly. You'll see your actual environment, and then holographic humans will come. You know, Apple's not the only one doing this. There are dozens of companies that are working on this idea, but they've got some really good technology, and they're the ones who will mainstream it, I believe.
What's your prognosis for HoloLens, Daniel? It's unclear what Microsoft's long-term goals are with that.
Yeah, well, I was going to also mention Microsoft Mesh is the same concept of having a virtual meeting space that they worked with AltSpace, and they've kind of combined these technologies. Well, this idea, you know, it's interesting if Apple has, like, it makes sense, right? If they have a video capability to do a video stream of your real environment and then do what Microsoft was calling holoportation a couple of years ago, where you bring people into your environment. To answer your question about HoloLens, you know, the Insider did a real bang-up job of reporting on the inside happenings of the HoloLens team and mixed realities team there. And yeah, it seems chaotic, and I'm really kind of worried about what's going on there. It sounds like they were working HoloLens 3, which was going to be, again, more of an enterprise device, was going to have newer technology. But then they got this massive government contract, and they started devoting a lot of their resources towards that.
The military,
the Army was going to buy 100, or still is going to buy 100,000 HoloLenses, although Microsoft's been downplaying.
And the Army is not happy.
Well, Microsoft even warned, you know, the soldiers aren't going to like this at first. You just gotta bear with us.
But the technology, it's not up to what they were saying that they promised they could deliver.
And what about the rumors that they are planning to partner with Samsung on?
Right. And so that was a separate rumor that was then later kind of confirmed by insiders, saying that, they're partnering with Samsung to develop some sort of mixed reality or augmented reality glasses or headset, which I think makes a lot of sense for Samsung, because Samsung wants more than anything to compete with Apple, and Samsung can't do it all. So they rely a lot of times on Microsoft. You see Samsung going also big on PC and computers these days, and with those PC computers, they're using them as extensions for their Galaxy phones to mimic the ecosystem, the tight ecosystem that Apple has. So
in fact, this is the only phone that really works well with your phone, now my phone on Windows 11, is the Samsung phone, but it works flawlessly. It works beautifully with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the only difference with the your phone, or what's now called Link to Windows, is the
I thought they were going to call it my phone.
ability to stream apps.
They're not going to call it my phone?
No.
It's going to be called somebody's phone.
Link to Windows. Okay.
Yeah.
But the idea is that you pair it to your phone. You have an app on your phone, and you can see the phone. You can see an image of your phone's screen on your Windows screen. You can share apps.
Yeah.
It's
so
kind
that's
of it's cool technology.
Like,
get notifications on your computer.
So it just does like app streaming, and then the Samsung version allows you to launch individual Android apps, like their little windowed apps.
Right.
That's the main difference, and you have copy paste. But for anyone who has an Android phone, Android 7.0 or higher, you can do things like do your phone calls, do your photos, do SMS. So you're already getting that integration. But Samsung gets a little extra.
That's parity to what Apple's got with its iPhones.
Basically. Yes, right. So, but with Samsung, so the question, of course, is, all right, so Samsung
can make the hardware. They've got the screens. They seem like they'd be a great hardware partner, and Microsoft the software partner, right?
Right, because Samsung has mass global production. They actually know how to make this stuff. What do they also make, right? They make the LCD screens used in a lot of VR type headsets. They own their own audio company, AKG. They make their own processors, right? So they do a full stack basically. But Microsoft also has all the technical know-how that they learned from HoloLens and holographic computing, as well as the software. But the question is it's going to run on Android? What's happening to all the stuff that Microsoft has been building out for the last 7-8 years with holographic mixed reality on the Windows platform, which doesn't sound like it has much of a path forward. We don't know what that is. HoloLens 3 reportedly got canceled. The government contract is now problematic. Apparently, it's having issues. And now you have the Samsung strategy, which is like, seems like it'll really benefit Samsung, but I don't see how it benefits Microsoft long term if they want to do this idea of like mixed reality for Windows. So, and then on top of that, you have a lot of employees who are absolutely unhappy about this, which is why they had 20 people for that article for Insider that were not on the record, but off the record,
leaking,
who are either current or former employees. Like that's a lot of people.
Is that the military thing they're unhappy with, the defense contract? That's what they don't want?
No, I think that a lot of the people were unhappy because they hired a guy from from Apple, and his goal and he just wanted to build a consumer version of HoloLens, right? There was this question, when are we going to get that? Apparently, he was brought over to do that, and that's not really happening at this point. So the teams aren't happy because there's no sense of direction. It's chaotic, right. And these projects that they've been breaking off on are kind of failing and not doing well. So I don't know. It really sounds like typical Microsoft, to be honest.
It's pretty rocky, but if you look at the mesh presentations, it really required a HoloLens. I mean, they show somebody using an Oculus, I guess, something like an Oculus, but or maybe an HTC Vive. But honestly, without the hardware HoloLens part, I don't really. Does any of this make sense?
Meanwhile,
you could do the VR part. Yeah, you could do like a VR with it. So you can use like regular VR headsets and it'll still be fine. But HoloLens would give you the ability to see your environment.
Yeah. This is the
all
VR.
It is fantastic tech, and you know where the majority of this VR stuff is going to end up? On a yellow and black site that shall remain nameless that way too many dudes spend too much time on.
I'm trying to think what it is. Yellow and black.
Don't think, Neil. Just let it go. The audience knows what it is. I trust you're a nice human being.
I feel like I'm left in the cold. I'm left in the cold, out in the cold. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Okay. Daniel got it, and so that was good enough.
Okay. I get it. Something adult. Is that what you're saying? Yes.
Requires less clothes.
Less clothes.
Where all the internet goes.
That's where it always goes. Have you been to Second Life lately? I can't believe what's happened to Second Life.
Quick thing about Magic Leap, though. They came out with the second version. They have two features that I think are really killer. So when we talk about consumer versus enterprise, we all want a consumer thing. We think about a consumer thing, but actually enterprise is where AR is really going to blast off, this high-end AR that that HoloLens is going to do for quite a while. And then the consumer stuff will blow up many years in the future. So you have Apple, who's going to have this big consumer thing, but also enterprise, but it'll seem consumer, but it'll be valuable for enterprise. Magic Leap 2 is going to have a killer enterprise product for two reasons. One is they're going full open source. So they're using Android open source
this is
for
so
development.
funny because I've written Magic Leap off completely. So they're still around.
They've almost died a couple of times, but their new version is really great. And so lots of companies, universities, enterprises will be able to very quickly create their own special purpose applications, which is why, in fact, it's going to blow up on enterprise first, because you only need one or two applications for specific enterprise usages, whether it's in the a factory or for drivers or whatever. And the other one that I think is really brilliant is they have this kind of dark mode for their glasses, where so let's say you're outside and you have this holographic projection that you need to do useful work with, you can't see it because it's like too bright. So they have this thing that will darken the screen and make it almost like VR. So they basically darken the actual environment while giving you this bright holographic data or image or whatever that you can interact with. And that is a really great feature for enterprise applications, because now you can be in a bright factory, you can be in a boardroom, you can be outside, you can be in lots of these environments, and you're not doing VR, you're doing AR, and it's highly visible. So I actually don't think we should be writing off Magic Leap. In fact, I think they're doing far, far better and have a bigger chance than Microsoft does in this space.
Wow.
My own personal opinion, but I think
this is a video of the Magic Leap 2, which is not yet out.
Comes out later this year.
But doesn't look, frankly, as spooky and insectoid as Magic Leap 1 did.
It's much better.
Magic Leap 1 had the same problem HoloLens had, which was it's just this narrow slot of VR.
Yes. So they broadened
AR. So that's bigger now.
This field of vision.
Okay.
Yeah.
The jury's really out on this whole mixed reality thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Regular reality is hard enough.
I know. I love the premise, and I feel like I can see the vision.
Yes.
But maybe it's just very hard to do.
Well, it's hard to do it. It's expensive, and the batteries are an issue. And where how do you put processing power into a headset? Do you have a thing that clips on your belt and so on? I think that the killer combination is when you have, I think Apple will is in a good position, so they can connect it to an iPhone, which can be the supercomputer that powers it, right? And then what they can do is they can use. I believe that Apple's going to heavily use QR codes. So QR codes can give you the data that you want to present in AR and also the location.
We all walk around with a little QR code on our forehead?
No, you put a QR code on a bottle or on a table or something like that.
Looking at
and the thing hovers over the QR code, but it also tells you what to go, or a sign on a restaurant window, or you can put QR codes anywhere, and that can be the location for I'm talking, 1.0 usage for the mass public. In the future, they will
just recognize
the problem
objects.
is anchoring it to physical reality. How do you do that? Yeah. And that's a lot of what the what Hololens is so good at. You can have a virtual object that not only stands on the table but actually gets behind the table. How do you do that? It's really, really hard.
Right.
So I think QR codes can solve that in the short term and in a more cost-effective way. And of course, Apple has all kinds of really unique Apple-specific QR code type technology that they've worked on. So I really think this is going to seem like this whole category is kind of going nowhere until Apple hits us with their version, and then suddenly it's game on because they're going to mainstream it.
It's early days.
Yes,
and I think that's what Microsoft's struggling with HoloLens is it's not quite delivering yet,
right?
And they've just got
no one knows what to do with it.
Yeah,
I mean, outside of an enterprise, like you can do, Mike's right, you can do specific applications. They're using it in medical schools, right? But when it comes to the consumer space, it's like, what is that killer app? AR, VR, at least at home, it's gaming, right? That's gaming and social has been kind of the two main driving factors for VR. But how do you now? There's still something so isolating about it. If you have a family and you're like, all right, I'm putting on my VR helmet, you're just basically cutting yourself off from the rest of society, the rest of people around you. But when you go to AR and this idea of you're just wearing glasses and it's just giving you augmented reality is giving you information about the world around you. That kind of changes things.
So Daniel, one thing that I've been waiting for. Sorry, brother. One thing that I've been waiting for. Okay, so you're wearing this shirt right now, and it's a cool shirt, right? Like, say I would love to walk into, the men's haberdashery, and I try on that shirt. But that shirt has the near field communication to the mirror because it comes in 6 colors, right? You know what we do now? We try on all 6. I would love to just put on one, go stand in front of the mirror, and then swipe the mirror. Okay, let me see it in blue. All right, that works. Let me see it in red. Yep. Okay, I'll take all 3 of those. And that kind of stuff is how we get it into the normal people space where it works. Yeah. Even for a car, like I've been dying to get like micro, LED paint job because I had a gray car today, but
tomorrow
my
favorite team, a purple car.
Right. My favorite team is playing. I want to rock Manchester United colors. I just want to hit a button. It's Manchester out.
Is that black and yellow? Is that the black and yellow you were talking about?
No, that's red and it's red and gold. But it's that old what is that game called? The original PlayStation GT 5? Gran Turismo. There you go.
Gran Turismo. Okay.
Gran Turismo. Like, it'd be super cool for stuff like that. And I think when we can figure that stuff out, where it's actually semi-functional and not just the gaming side, that's what's coming. And yes, I do believe e-ink paint is coming. I actually know some material scientists here at a university that are working on stuff like that. So
nice.
That's the stuff that's going to be quite amazing.
They
self-healing
paint. Yes, Mercedes.
They're doing self-healing paint and then e-ink for colors.
You're going to need self-healing paint if you've got e-ink paint. You're going to need something pretty powerful to heal that one up.